Hi guys, it's me again. Today I'm going to do a taper review of my current home defense handgun, which is the HK45C 45 Compact. I like this gun, and I do believe this gun is very much like a 1911 in terms of a plastic handgun. If you do some Google research, you would find out that two of those very knowledgeable military 1911 guys helped HK to develop this particular weapon. And HK also have a 45 full-size weapon. It's slightly different than this one. The obvious one, the difference is the grip, but this grip is very similar to the HK P2000. The gun itself is very much well built, like most of the HK. HK like to overbuild their weapon, so it's very reliable. And the gun is accurate in my hand. I like it. It shoots accurately, and I have no trouble to hit a bullseye with this gun at like 15 yards. I use it for home defense, but I would like to describe the setup of this weapon. I do have the HK, the trijicon HD night sights on it. It has the orange front sight, and it has the Novak cut like real night sights. It's pretty like bright in the dark. So I'm very happy with those. And I also had a threaded barrel put on with this gun. Right now it currently has a thread protector on it. But I do believe these sights could be used even when it has the suppressor on, because it seems like they're pretty high, from the slide. And to what else? The gun does have a 1913 rail here. That's a big change compared to the previous USP series. HK pistols, they have the HK rail, which you can't put the ordinary accessory on it, like attach a laser or flasher on it. You have to get a special attachment for those. The gun is very reliable, and cleaning the gun is also very easy. To take down the weapon, you just have to, matched up this notch with the slide release, and then you push this side. There's a button. You push this side, and then you take this out, and then you take the gun apart. This recoil spring is the HK's dual recoil spring. It helped a lot when I, to reduce the recoil when I shoot this gun. I don't really feel like there's much recoil, and it's very comfortable. It's really, good for the double tap. I like it very much. And let me see, trigger, everything. So it's pretty easy to clean it. You probably don't have to clean it very often. HK firearms usually are very reliable and doesn't really need much maintenance, unlike the 1911s. The gun, this weapon also, it's a LEM trigger system. I think LEM stands for like law enforcement, like modification. What that actually means is it means this gun is always double action only. Like every time you put a trigger, and notice there's a long travel here, and you can see every time you put a trigger, the hammer goes back, and then you will hit the wall. And I think the trigger ball for this gun actually here is about like 8 pounds. So, and when you put, you put a trigger, it's very crispy, and the reset is very short. You see, that's just much very short reset, and now you can put the trigger again, and then you do this reset, and you can put the trigger again. All right. It does not have the safety or decocker. Unlike the HK's variation 1, you do have a safety and decocker. I use this gun for home defense, so I do not need a safety on this gun. A decocker doesn't make much sense to the LEM trigger system, but a safety could be installed here. But just imagine this, like when you're sleeping and someone, come to your room or come to your house at 3 a.m., you suddenly wake up and your mind is not the clearest, in the day. So would you remember to disengage the safety? Somehow there's a question mark, at least for me. So I don't need a safety in that case. But the gun is safe. I can guarantee you that. I can show you this. See, now the gun, is kind of cocked and the hammer is back. And I can put the trigger this. It's not going to fire because I didn't put the trigger very hard and intentionally hard. Once I hit the wall here, and there's a 8-pound trigger, so I have to put really hard in order to fire it. And there's also a long travel. I think that prevent the a discharge or unintentionally fired this weapon. So I do believe it's safe. A lot of people carry the gun this way. I do not carry LEM trigger this way. I do have a USB compact. I'm going to show you here. So this is my carry weapon. It's also empty here, nothing in the chamber. It doesn't have a safety on it. It also have the LEM trigger here. But when I carry it, I have the safety on, like in the daytime when I carry it this way. So every time when I pull it out of the holster, the first thing I do is disengage the safety, and then I can put the trigger. Okay. About the guns that since I bring up the USB compact, I want to show a little bit improvement or a little bit change that HK did based on the USP series. I do think the HK like to overbuild their weapons, and the USP series is very obvious. The gun. It's very good quality, and I don't think you have to build this way, but HK did it. If you take a look at the back of the slide, okay, you take a look at the back of the slide, you will notice this USB compact, the 9mm, has thicker slide than the 45 compact. So this one is shooting 45 cal. This one is shooting. And this one, this one is shooting 9mm, but this one obviously has a thicker slide, and also this one is more bulky. It's very bulky. It's very square look, and the 45C, has been rounded up a lot more, reduced a lot of steel here and there. And I think it helps when you carry it. This one has thicker slide, and it makes it carry this gun harder. And I also want to mention the side radius, between these two guns. And I noticed, the HK45C, if you put the right knife sights or right sights on it, and you can actually have a little slightly longer sight radius compared to the other weapons, and you can see I lined up the front sights and the rear sight. If you put the correct size on it, and it actually goes into the back, the end of the slide. I kind of did a comparison between this gun and commando size 1911s or even the full size 1911s. I can see they have very similar side radius, which I like that very much, and help you to aim more accurately. And I also had the threaded barrel on it, so you did not lose any advantage in terms of the barrel lengths. compared to some other full-size weapons. This gun I had about 3,000 rounds through it. It's still in very good conditions, and HK has very nice finish on their weapons. The sliders, no scratch. It just, if it's really good quality finish on the slide. The things that I do not like about this gun, I wouldn't say I do not like, but I think there are a few things could improve a little bit. And the first thing that that everybody would tell you, the slide on this HK45C are not the best kind. I'm okay with it, but I do think if they put the checker here, like the USB compact, you can tell this one, the checkering is much better than here. This is like a sandpaper, it's like nothing. And the side of the slide here is kind of smooth, to be honest, and there's not much going on here. And USB compact, and this is much more grippy here. The back checkering is the same thing. So all I can say is the grip can be improved. I did notice there's a little bit movement if you squeeze the slide and you frame a little bit, and there's a little gap here. There's a little movement here. I'm a little bit surprised about this. I thought the HK usually they pay attention to little details like here. I know I'm being picky here. I like the weapon, very nicely tight fit. That's how I like the 1911s and all the custom made and hand fit weapons. And the USB compact doesn't have that. There's no gap here, so that's why I noticed that. But that's not a huge problem to most of the folks. Another thing is this release. They have like a dual side release. I'm sorry. Like if I cock it here, I can release from this side as well, but somehow this thing is a little loose here. It's kind of a hang here. I don't know whether that could be improved or not, but I think it's just like my personal preference. When I have a weapon, I don't like to have too much like loose components on this gun. This gun came with enlarged magazine release, so it's bigger. The magazine release here is bigger compared to the USB compact magazine release here. This is just a really small piece here, and this one is bigger, and it helps you to release. By the way, the magazine, this gun came with two magazine options. One is the A round magazine. If you want to carry it, you certainly use this one. Another one is the 10 rounders. They call it elephant foot as well. So this one can hold 10 rounds. This can only hold 8 rounds. At the very beginning, when I purchased this gun, and I like to use magazine like this one. But after I used this one for a while, since I use it for the home defense, this magazine actually fit very comfortably. I do believe it will be much better options for the people who have bigger hands. It also holds 2 more rounds, and that's very critical and important when you are in a home defense situation. And he eats all kinds of ammo. I never had any trouble with it. There's no FTF. There's no fail eject. So it's 100% reliable. I would like to recommend this gun to anyone who has small hands, who also like HK weapon. This one is definitely a nice HK to have. Yeah,